right. Rip City producer Zach. You don't get to see Zach here, but he hits the cues right on point there, bringing us in on another episode of the Rip City Roundtable Podcast. Your host Corey running point, and I got my swing guy here, my shooting guard. Or you want to be the 3, Adrian? What
I could be. I'm more of a Tony Allen, all defense, no shooting.
The Tony Allen everywhere guy. Okay, well, I love it, Adrian. Well, Adrian, thanks for coming back on the podcast. You catch Adrian on Blazers Edge. You still tweeting, Adrian? You still putting out any tweets?
I've actually just gotten onto Blue Sky, and it's fantastic. So
Blue Sky, okay,
all right. On the Blue Sky, so I'm still on the artist formerly known as Twitter, but
nice. But starting
yeah.
Okay, well, similar to the Blazers, right? Like we're in this old team that we need to now start to move into the new team, right? Like that's maybe the way I can try to find a transition there. But we're recording this right now, Thursday. It's December 12th, our time. You're in the future, as always.
It's Friday the 13th here, by the way.
It is Friday the 13th in Australia right now. So, and you're still alive. You're still here. So that's good. The Blazers, Adrian, haven't played in 5 days or 4 days since Sunday. They played the Lakers, really because a lot of these games in the last few days have been these cup, quarterfinal games, which the Blazers, right, Adrian, we're close, man. We were close to maybe getting into that quarterfinal, but the point differential stuff, and then I guess we lost to the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice, but it's not. It's not the end of the world.
Sure. Well, were you? So I wrote about this on one of the extended analysis after it might have been the Kings when we played the Kings in the Cup, and and like that was where I was like, it was something to look forward to. So was the Cup exciting for you because the Blazers season's probably not going to be great, or was it just kind of like whatever?
Look, there's a little part of me that thought, as long as they don't win any other games outside of the Cup games, I'm more than happy for them to try and go win the Cup.
Yeah,
that'd be great. And look, but the fact that they're not in Vegas is fine. It's more rest. You're getting a bit of rest and relaxation into guys who need it. Like Klingon has had a few days off. Williams has had a few days off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, and the one that killed, right? And again, I referenced Zach here at the front, our producer. Zach's a big Rockets fan, so it's okay. We forgive him. But that was the killer, was we play him in that Cup game and get slaughtered, right? We lose by 30 or whatever that was, Adrian. And then the next night we go and then win the next game. And it was like, well, that didn't matter. Like, why did we do that? We might as well just drop, the one after too. I can't believe.
I mean, is that a more is it more reflection on the Blazers, or is it more a reflection on the Rockets?
Well, it may be the Rockets, maybe the inconsistency. Although, man, that was a great game. Did you watch that against the Warriors?
Yeah, I watched the last quarter. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, exciting stuff. So it's fun to see the Rockets. That'll be them and OKC in the semifinals, I guess, of the Cup. So that'll be fun. But okay, so focusing on our team, focusing on the Blazers, sure. We are 8-16 right now, Adrian. We sit 7th in the bottom of the standings. I don't know another way to phrase that. 7th worst.
7th worst record.
7th worst record. There's a slew of 7-win teams from the East that I think will start to leapfrog us. Do you see? I mean, this is like the turning point now, right? Like there is just there, and I know you're on you and I share the same thoughts of we need to just be as bad as we can be, but this is the turning point, right? This is not going to be great over the next few weeks, right? We're going to lose a lot of games here.
Well, as we speak, 2 days from now, the trade season opens. So
yeah,
opportunities are going to start to arise for them to get worse. And I think most of the losing happens after the All-Star break.
Okay.
After the All-Star break, or whenever they decide to start trading the veterans away, and they will. There'll be 1 to 2 of them, maybe 3 of them traded away.
Yeah.
Over the next 10 months.
Say that stat. We were talking before we hopped on. How many players are eligible to be traded?
I think I could be wrong, but I think it's 87% of the players signed in the off season.
Yeah.
Traded as of the 15th of December.
Oh my word. I mean, yeah, that's got a signal. You said something. So we have like a Slack with all the people that write for Blazers Edge. And I think Jeremy Grant was like 0 for 7 or something.
Oh,
You were like, we're not getting 2 first rounders anymore. You said something.
No, because like against the Lakers. So obviously all the off-season stuff was Jeremy and the Lakers and all that thing, and then he comes out and lays an egg. It's like it was one of the worst auditions you'd see. But
yeah,
look, I think the Lakers are making their mind up on one single game, then they're as clueless as everyone thinks they are. So I don't think that really matters.
Yeah, there was someone on Twitter that had posted this like conspiracy, and I kind of liked it. Was that was like LeBron's first missed game, right, of the season? He's been super durable. He's played really well, but they were like, he took tonight off to like evaluate Jeremy Grant. Like, so, he could have a seat, not worry about the game, and just be like, okay, can Jeremy put us over the edge? And then Jeremy had a terrible game. So I don't know, maybe there was some validity to it. I'm pretty sure
LeBron has leg pass and can pull up a Blazers game and evaluate Jeremy. I don't know whether he needs to be taking games off to be doing that, but
probably not. Yeah, and I doubt Jeremy's getting the like treatment that Lillard got when LeBron was trying to get Dame to LA. Courting him, taking him to play dinner and all this crazy stuff. I don't think he's doing the same thing for Jeremy.
Taco Tuesday and all that stuff.
Taco Tuesday and all things. So, the Laker game obviously was the last game. Grant goes 1 for 12, 3 points. Simon's 5 for 13, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. And then DeAndre Ayton, 19 rebounds. That stands out. Someone has to get rebounds, but he fouls out 14 points. So those three guys, Grant, Simons, Ayton, are probably 1, 2, 3 in a certain order.
Time Lord's number 1.
You think has he played well enough to convince you to keep him?
Yeah. Oh no. Look, I'd love to keep him, but he's more valuable in trade. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Time, and look, if Tace manages to play a game before February 6th, then there's 5 guys. I don't think Ayton gets traded during mid-season though. His contract is too cumbersome.
How old? I'll pull this up. How old is Matisse?
I think he's 26, 27.
Yeah, 27, dude. He's not that old.
No.
I think there's a world where couldn't we just keep Matisse? Like, couldn't he be that guy that just like sticks on the team for a few years?
Could. But the question is he more valuable in a trade depending on what comes back? I mean, you've already got a lot of guys that play that position. You've got Timani, who is very much a duplicate of what Matisse does and probably does it better. Yeah. You've got Chris Murray, you've got Ryan Rupert. There's a lot of dudes on this team.
Sure.
And you need to free up some space. And I think Tace, he's an Australian. I love Tace, but he's probably in that category of guys that needs to go.
Yeah. It's just like, and I'm with you. He probably the trade value would be there, but there's like something about watching somebody that is like at the top 1% of a skill set, and that's like playing steals and playing the passing lanes. It's just so fun, like to watch. Right. It's like watching Klingon right now. It's like, I know he's been injured. And he's a rookie, but it's like his ability to block shots and just like not foul is already incredible. It's just so fun to see those things.
You don't have to worry about them trading Klingon.
I doubt Klingon.
He's as you were saying pre-show, there are 4 guys who I think are going to be with this team at least for the next 24 months at least.
Okay, go through your 4 guys. You mentioned this earlier. So in 2 years from now, when you're back on the podcast and it's December 12th, 2026, okay, and we're talking about the Blazers are sitting 29-2, really strong record. Who are the 4 still on the team?
So I wrote about this a few weeks ago about who I thought was going to be with the team 2 years from now. And 2 years isn't an arbitrary timeline. Most of the contracts on the Blazers right now come off in the summer of 26. So DeAndre Ayton, Time Lord, Simons, handful of young guys come off the books. So the four guys I kind of I honed in on were Klingon. Obviously, he's in 2026. He'll be coming off his third year. Shaden Sharp, who will be probably have received an extension at the end of this season or signed in restricted free agency in 2026. Denny Avdia, you're not gonna part with 2 first-round picks for a guy and then just part with him. And he's shown, and I feel so vindicated here because I was the one banging the Denny Avdia drum. Yeah. He wasn't playing well at the start of the year. His shot wasn't falling. With the fact that it's falling now, everything else is coming in and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So Denny Avdia and obviously everybody's favorite Belgian Toumani Camara is a rotation player, is a required player on this team, and will be for a while.
So Shaden, Klingon, Toumani,
Denny,
and Advia.
Yeah.
You're forgetting like the other big one that I'm sure people are like, what about Scoot? What about Scoot? He's not here, Adrian? He's gone?
Well, if the Blazers manage to, if they don't get Cooper Flagg and they somehow land the 2nd or 3rd pick and Dylan Harper is on the board.
Moving on already. Okay.
I mean, the G League Ignite guys like Scoot have taken a while to come get up to speed, essentially.
Sure.
And I think I'd love to give Scoot more time, but he's showing glimpses. Like, I don't know whether you saw that Indiana Pacers game a few weeks ago where he actually really started to kind of put things together.
Yeah. People said that might have been his best game, like as a pro so far. I mean, that was getting thrown out there. But
we're not seeing it enough. And how long can you go on saying he's just a rookie? He's just a sophomore. Yeah. It's his 3rd year.
I think there will be a lineup. This was the lineup. And I was trying to write this down while you were talking. But before Klingon got hurt, remember there was that stretch, Adrian, where I think we beat the Timberwolves in the first cup game. But it was Scoot, Shaden, Toumani, Advia, Klingon. Those 5. That looked strong. No Grant, no Simons, no Ayton. Those 5 guys I thought played really well. Almost, I think, too well. Where it was like, ooh, I think we would steal too many games. So let's no, I don't want injuries to anybody.
No,
but I think that's when some of the injuries started happening to Klingon, Scoot, and I think it was like, let's just take a little longer on these things.
The problem with Scoot is there are a lot of ifs and glimpses, but there are there's still a lot of boneheaded players and a lot of mistakes and a lot of the decision making is worrying for a guy who came out of what was a professional league in the G League. Like he spent 2 years. I mean, he's young. He's only 20. I think he's still only 20.
Yeah, super young.
He spent 2 years in the G League playing against grown men, and look, I'm not ready to call him a bust.
Sure,
but at the next draft, the Blazers don't have the luxury of picking for position. They have to pick best possible player, and if the best possible player is Dylan Harper, then you take him. And I think that's for me, that's the sobering truth. You have to take the best possible player because they don't have a guy yet. I mean, Shaden could be, but they don't have a guy. Okay. They're look, and this brings us back to the Rockets here. I really like watching the Rockets play. They're really, really good, fun to watch. But do they have a guy?
Yeah, no. It's kind of like who's going to take the last shots? Like you. Well, okay, you or
Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green, like Şengün. It can kind of go with a multiple, which in some ways that's like, oh, look at all these options we have. But then when you don't have that guy, that makes that rough. You're right.
Yeah, and I think the Rockets are in a different position because they've got all these assets that they could trade for a guy. Like I think earlier on, and when the Bucks weren't going well, Giannis kind of came up, and Houston came up as a potential landing spot for Giannis, and that's maybe how they get their guy. But the Blazers aren't flush with those assets yet. They need to keep collecting those. So
no, you're right. I just it just sucks. It would suck to miss on that, and it just came at that pivotal moment where it's like we moved on from Dame, probably had to do it. It's like, oh, Scoot, and then it's like, well, that didn't work out. We moved on. So you're probably right, but I don't like it.
Well, look, I'm not saying Scoot's not an NBA player. I still think Scoot has a nice career in him. I think. Look, he could still reach those heights. It just doesn't seem as likely as it was a year ago.
No, you're right. I watching that Kings game, that Cup game where it felt like a playoff game. That's the closest the Blazers are going to get to a playoff game. And it wasn't this like, just kind of run down the court, make a couple passes and shoot. Like we were pick and roll every time. Like it felt like a playoff game. And it was Advia with the ball. Your boy, Denny, like point forward, getting the screen from Klingon, getting the screen from Tuma, and he created the action and then found open guys or would drive to the rim and get fouled. And so it's like, and that's awesome. You got this tall dude, great vision, good finisher. He's getting better. He's getting there, but it's like you want that probably in crunch time. But then so where do you put Scoot? If he's not a knockdown shooter, where does he go? And
Denny's more of a secondary creator. I don't think you could rely on Denny to be your main guy. Running a game.
No, I don't the dude,
and that's a problem. Yeah,
for sure. And then you said Shaden. Like Shaden's still, I think, the guy that is most likely to emerge as that person. Yeah. But what are your thoughts? And we talked about this before, and there were a couple guys, I don't remember who was commenting on the Blazers Edge extended analysis. I did, I think maybe after the Jazz, just awful game. Awful. Oh, Adrian, like we needed to lose it. Like we need the Jazz to win, but don't do it like that. I mean, a 46, we were down 46 at one point to a Jazz team with no Lauri Markkanen. Like it was like, who are we playing right now?
And it was the veterans that really dropped the ball on that one. Like it was Grant, it was Simons, it was Aiden. I think I commented. I think Aiden is the most obvious disinterested NBA player.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell when he doesn't care.
Yeah,
and that's
And Chauncey like alluded to that in the post game. He's like, yeah. He came 2 minutes in. He's like, no, you don't have your heart's not in or whatever he said. Whatever Chauncey
get out of here.
Get out of here, kind of thing. But do you think that is that starting unit kind of rubbing off onto Shaden in a negative way? Like, does Shaden start to kind of fall into that? Because that's what this person was saying. Like, hey, he's lazy now. Like, he's not hustling. He's not performing.
I think Shaden's biggest issue is he's got all the tools. He's got everything. He can pretty much do everything. And I'm actually writing about that this week. But it's above the shoulders for Shaden, and he needs to be able to do it consistently for 48 minutes every night. So there were 2 5-game stretches last year where he was like averaging mid-20s on really, really nice efficiency. And then in between that, and then after that, it just falls by the wayside. We need him to be doing that 82 games a year.
Yeah.
And then hopefully into a deep playoff run. But
Shaden,
I don't think Shaden really, what the other guys around him, I don't think it really matters what the other guys around him. I think it's up to Shaden to really take that responsibility on, because he can do it. He's this kind of enigmatic guy. I mean, I've obviously never met him, but the way he comes across is he's very kind of just likes to kind of do his own thing and not really kind of he doesn't throw himself at the limelight, as it were. But I think he needs to be able to kind of just be able to switch that on. And I mean, if he's going to be the guy, he needs to be able to carry this team and do it at will. And I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, his demeanor is he's very chill, very very cool. Doesn't get too rattled either up or down. But it reminded me, and if it turned out this way, we would both be very happy. But like when Shea Gilgeous-Alexander came into the league from Kentucky, he was kind of like that kind of cool cat, ho-hum, and then kind of obviously then developed into the man. And then you watch this game the other night against the Mavericks where he just like took over and he's getting in the crowd. So maybe Shaedon will get there. I mean, he's 21 years old, Adrian. So
maybe it's a Canadian thing because Shea's Canadian as well. Maybe
Shea's Canadian too. Oh, geez. Good connections there. I didn't even think about that. Could be a Canadian thing. That wouldn't surprise me. Canadians just hanging back,
Well, I mean, look, the Canadians. I mean, they did pretty poorly at the Olympics, but they've got some good young players. But yeah, I think I'm not worried about Shaedon at all. I think he's exactly where he should be. I mean, everyone. It didn't help that when he came out of the draft and hit that 1 turnaround baseline shot at Summer League, and you've got Brandon Sprague calling him Baby Kobe. Yeah. That doesn't help because expectations can only go. You can't get any higher than that.
You can't. So, then he got hurt like a minute later, and then
that added to the mystique. I was like, he's hit this beautiful baseline turnaround shot, and then he hurts his shoulder, and then he's like, oh, he's going to be the second coming of Kobe. He's set up to fail. But I don't think I'm not worried about Shaedon at all. I think that core of Shaedon, Denny, Kamara, and Klingon is great. That's what you build around. That's your 4. Yeah, and at least they've got that 4.
Sure.
But now they need to go into 25 and hopefully get Cooper Flagg and. And if not Cooper Flagg, it's Dylan Harper or it's Ace Bailey or it's Nolan Traore or whoever it is. But this is the way you rebuild properly, and this is what we were pleading with Neil O'Shea to do for 10 years. Like,
yes, I know we're getting there. Like, Rip City, we're getting there. We just have to be just a little more patient. Like, just if we want to do this right, we got to just hang in there. We got to,
and that's the thing. I can understand the impatience because it's been. I mean, they've been in the lottery since 22, but like for them to try and win now would be utter malpractice. Oh. Given what if they were to try and go for the play-in now, it would be completely irresponsible. They need to, if they do it right, this is going to be the last year.
Yes,
if they do it right.
If they do it right, 100%. A quick Shaedon stat. If I told you over under, and maybe you already know this because you're writing this thing, but like if I said 60 games over under, how many did he play in his rookie season? What would you say? Do you remember?
I reckon he played over his rookie season. No one he went over.
Yeah, 80 games played.
Yeah.
80. If you had told me that 10 minutes ago, I would have said, 52 or something. Like, 80 was a lot, Adrian. I was surprised.
Whereas it was 32 last year. But the one reason I kind of guessed that was I remember Damien's one of his last press conferences as a Blazer, and they were asking him, "Do you want to tank for another year?" And he goes, "Well, no, I don't." But what about? And he said, "What about Shaedon?" He goes, "Well, Shaedon's different." So that kind of prompted me to think because he obviously knew that Shaedon was special.
No, and a guy like that, I think Lillard always had those good connections, obviously with the team because he's a leader, but he saw it going out the door for sure. So
just waiting for Damien to finish up his big contract and then come back and play on the minimum in Portland.
And then we win the title that year. So that's how we put a nice little bow on it, Adrian.
With Damien, Shaedon, Denny, Cooper Flagg, and Klingon. That's it.
Yeah, that's the team. All right, I love it. Okay, one last point, and then we'll head out of here. So, Rob is your number one, like most likely first guy out the door.
Actually, no, I think I said Rob a few months ago. I think it's Grant and Simons now, and then Rob.
Yeah. Okay. You reminded me of what I said during the offseason. We talked about this, and it's exactly what's happened. Is Rob comes out, strong performance.
Yeah.
Doesn't get like a bad injury, kind of shuts down a little bit, and then we trade him. And that's where we're at. He's played really well. And he, was the concussion, right? Is that why he's been out?
Yeah, I think the latest, just like half an hour ago, he's going to be fine. He's on track for tomorrow against the Spurs, so that's good. But
yes, okay.
And Klingon could be back as well, so that's good. But
yeah,
but I mean, the minutes that Rob has played have been phenomenal.
Oh,
phenomenal!
Oh, amazing, man! He had me like jumping out of my chair when I was watching those games, like catching those lobs. That first lob in that Kings game, I thought, oh, he's gonna like break his ankle or something.
Yeah,
and just, oh my gosh, dude, you see the talent, you see.
Yeah, and he's able to kind of pluck a ball out of the air, and then land and then throw it. It just he does everything, and he does it all at a high level, and it's it's a shame that he didn't play more in Portland, because
I know.
We really were deprived of watching a really, really, really good player.
It's just that Klingon and Rob combo at the center. Oh my goodness. Like, you get a combined 48 minutes out of that. Oh, yeah.
I mean, in a perfect world, you'd trade DeAndre and you'd have Klingon and Williams as your center.
That's what I think. I just I don't have faith in, knock on wood. I just don't have faith you'd stay healthy.
But no one's taking DeAndre. Not now.
I know. He's just
unless you're Pelinka and you're desperate.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Maybe he will be desperate. I mean, like you say Lakers or some other teams. I mean, the Lakers are lingering. What are they going to do? I mean, they're not going to tank. So they got to go for a win. But does another center really help them? Like, I don't know.
And I don't think that. I mean, not that they would give up a first for DeAndre, but they're really holding on to those 29 and 31 picks.
Yeah.
Because they know that. Look, LeBron is starting to age. Like, Father Time is catching up with LeBron.
Yeah.
So I just wonder whether he's holding on for LeBron to retire. Do you then trade AD and rebuild? And because you still get AD's only 31. Like, you get a ton for AD.
Yes.
And you've got Connect there, and you've got all these young guys, and
because they're not like the Lakers, like at full strength. Like, you're not taking them over the Thunder. You're not taking them over the Mavs. You're not taking them, probably not even over Memphis, Adrian. I don't know.
Memphis. Who else? I was having a conversation about this in the West.
Houston. And we talked about Houston earlier. I don't know about even the Nuggets. I don't.
Nuggets, even the Warriors. Like,
Warriors.
I mean, if they somehow get Jimmy Butler, then that would sting. But
that would sting. Oh my gosh, that'd be wild. I know, I saw that. Or like he was like, oh, the Suns, and then Warriors are in there, and I don't know. That'd be a bummer.
It's interesting though, because like of the teams, like I think Dallas and Houston have a chance. They've got enough to get him as well. So I think Houston want to get their guy.
Yeah. Talking about their guy, and they have a lot of assets. I mean, they could package something back to Miami and Jimmy Butler would play hard for that Rockets team.
And he's born and raised Houston, I think.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah. We're getting confirmation from the Rockets fan. He's nodding his head. So, yes, Zach says Jimmy Butler from Houston. So, all right. Well, you heard it here. Breaking news, Adrian. He got traded to Houston. You said it.
They're also going to have to pay him because he's
Yeah, and like, what is he, 35? Isn't Jimmy's up there?
He's no spring chicken. He was a 4-year college guy as well. So, like, he's
But did you watch that Netflix doc on the starting five? Did you watch?
I haven't watched it all. No.
Okay, it's not bad, and like Jimmy's one of the five, and I don't know. It seems like good. He's a little quirky for sure, but good family guy. I don't know. My wife was watching it with me, and she's like, I like that Jimmy guy. Like, she was like, your team needs to get that guy, and I'm like, no, we don't. We're not gonna.
No, it doesn't work. You trade away Damian Lillard just to bring back. No.
Not going to work there.
No.
Well, cool. Okay, Adrian, my final thing, and do you ever look at the spreads or lines of games? Is that anything?
Sometimes, yeah. And our spreads are based on the American ones, so it's roughly the same. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm only going to bring up the Spurs matchup here because I think, and maybe if we trade Scoot next season or he's not with the team, maybe it won't matter. But I think forever when we play the Spurs, it's always going to be, the Blazers could have had Wembanyama, and now they had Scoot, and so I think it's a conversation point. The Spurs are 3.5 point favorites. Is that enough? Like, this is in Portland. Do you think the Spurs should be favored by more than that, or are you not surprised by that?
It depends if Klingon and Williams play. I think it probably could be a little bit more, but
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like I don't know. 3.5 seems low. I feel like the Spurs.
Yeah, it's low, but again, like the Spurs aren't world beaters at the moment. Like they're winning games, but they're not.
Yeah,
a perfect team.
Sure. And Wembanyama was out for a little bit, so maybe, but like Vassell's back, like that team. I think that's a play-in team for sure. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't think they're gonna. Do you think they're gonna tank again? Do you think the Spurs, like at the end of the season, tank it?
I don't think. I think Wemby wants to win. Like I think Wemby is now the commander in chief of that franchise. I think.
Yeah.
They've tanked enough. Like if they finish with the 10th worst record and luck into the third pick, then they're going to be happy. But I don't think they're actively going to be tanking. I could be wrong, but
I don't think. I mean, they would have to like literally take him off the floor because he's not going to like half-ass it out there. So,
but I mean, I tell you what, if they somehow got Cooper Flag,
I'd quit. I would quit the NBA for about 15 years. Then I'd
got Cooper Flag. Yeah, it's just not fair.
It would be not fair. I can't even believe you said that out loud. Adrian, Blazers.
Hey, the Hawks got the number 1 pick from I think the 10th or 11th West record. So
yeah, that's true. So it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. All right, you got your angles. I know they're not called that, but you get your Sunday piece. Sunday Australian time or Sunday American?
Sunday Australian time, Saturday US.
US Saturday. Your angles, your piece, Shade and Sharp. Check it out on blazersedge.com. Blue Sky. Follow Adrian.
Blue Sky, yeah. Everyone jump on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is great.
Blue Sky. There it is. Adrian, thanks for coming on the Rip City Roundtable Podcast, man. It's good having you.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, see you, bud.